Hey, what's up, people? I actually just made this video, but it was too long, so I gotta shorten it down and make another video. But I'm over here as I normally do CNN. It's a very good outlet for understanding what's going on in the current election and everything. Right now, they're just talking about if you have a absentee ballot that you do not want to mail it right now. It's too late. Okay, so if you have a mail-in ballot or absentee ballot, do not put it in the regular mail if at all possible. It is not likely going to get to where its destination in time in order to be counted. Okay, so there are Dropbox locations to where you can just take the ballot straight up to the Dropbox location, typically where there's early voting stations, and then you can drop it off there. Okay, so the reason I'm making this video here, and I'm going to continue to make these videos up to election time, is to recap some of the current events that have been taking place dealing with the election for all of the people that do not watch the news, CNN, Fox News, that just don't keep up with the events. And more importantly, this for people that are still on the fence about, or just want to be more educated about why this election is so important, and why it's the most important election in our lifetime so far, and possibly why you should vote for Biden or quote not Donald Trump. Okay, I don't really care how you vote, but I do care that you have the information, the right, accurate information in order to make an educated decision. And a lot of people just say just vote Democrat because this is the way you do it. No, there's actually specific reasons. Okay, very specific reasons why this is very important. The main reason that this election is so important is that if Donald Trump gets reelected, it will lay the foundation for our government to be run in the way that he's been running it for the last 3.5, 4 years. All right, which means that there will be a lot. When I mean that, let me just kind of like put this into context. Trump stretches the law to the furthest degree to get to what he wants from a personal agenda standpoint. All right, he does not care about the public and what's good for the common good for all citizens, but more so than what's the best strategy, the best decision for him as a person. Primarily these days, what can I do to help myself get reelected? Why does he care about getting reelected so much? Because he is under tremendous scrutiny for his tax evasion, and there are other scandals that will be investigated by the federal court system or the Supreme Court system. That means that he's liable to go to jail, but most likely he's liable for hundreds of millions of dollars, specifically $350 million in tax evasion. That Not just straight tax evasion, just to qualify that specifically, is tax evasion in addition to loans that he just hasn't paid back that will come due. All right, this has come from the New York Times analysis of his tax returns over the last 5 years. This is not somebody that you want in office, someone that's that much in debt, who cannot pay their own bills, who refuses to pay tax through tax evasion. He paid $750 in taxes last year. There's a couple years that he paid zero. He first said that I paid zero or a very low amount because I'm a smart businessman. He then changed his mind and said, oh, that just represented a small portion of my assets, which makes no sense. And then he came back and said again, I've actually paid in advance for my taxes tens of millions of dollars into the future for my taxes. That makes no sense at all, because if you owe the money to the government, they would factor in that you've already paid them, right? And you can't pay in advance if you owe in the past. Anyone with any sense should know that. So one of the stereotypes that plague our country when it comes to Trump supporters are two types of people. One type of person that will vote for Trump from a stereotypical lens. Okay, I'm not going to call anyone any names, but the stereotype is that the person that doesn't have enough sense to filter through a lie. That means you can lie to them in a very obvious way and they will believe it. Okay, case in point, my last example. Okay, so that's the case in point. But second character of a person who to vote for Trump, someone who has a direct benefit in him being elected, a direct benefit, not like an indirect benefit, like okay, I'm for abortion or not, therefore, I'm pro-choice, whatever. So no, we're talking about like if he doesn't get elected, you lose your job. Like I am a Republican and holding this house, this seat, whatever, I lose my job or I lose a lot of money. All right, like I will lose millions or lose my job. Like these are major things. People that are on his corner, in his side, in his corner, on his side. This is the other people that are for him. The people in suit and ties that you see on his show. These are those people. They're paid by him, or they will lose lots of money and or both. And that's the other quality. So that's your two people. People again that don't have enough sense to see through an obvious lie. And see, look, they show this. So that's a governor, right? That's a governor threatening. I'm just having to like listen back and forth. Um, See this? Now, just to recap what he's saying, so you don't have to listen to this, is that they don't want to have poll watchers. They meaning who? America? Like this. This is not like it's not like the people in line to vote are all Democrats. They're just people, right? But he wants to have poll watchers. Poll watchers. There are always people working at the election. Duh. But he wants to have people with guns, like the Proud Boys. He wants the the white supremacists basically to be with guns to intimidate people so they don't wait in lines, because he knows the more people that vote, then it's going to decrease his chances of winning. He's already at an extreme disadvantage right now. Over 56% of the people have voted from 2016 election to now. The total amount of people in 2016, 56% of those people have already voted, and we still have 5 days left. Over 75 million people have voted. All right. And he is very far behind. You can count these votes as they are, and the analysis will show on any TV, or if you pull it up on any third-party site, where he's projected to be. There's an extreme possibility that Trump will lose. Trump knows that, and he is trying his best. It's actually 6 days left for the election. Sorry. Trump is trying his best to capture every electoral vote possible. So you don't have to look at the theory behind whether or not Trump is going to win or not. You can actually look at his actions and see, and will tell you exactly how desperate he is right now. He is, case in point, he has gone just yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, went to Philadelphia, in a small part of Philadelphia, to capture one electoral vote. That is not what you normally do as a president or anyone running for president. You try to capture large areas with the most electoral votes. In Arizona, there's 11 electoral votes. In other areas, Wisconsin, Florida, like there's 5, 7, 9, 3. There's larger areas that you can capture. If you're going to actually put together a motorcade and fly out and travel to that area, now it better be worth it. He's going to areas where there's one electoral vote. That is telling you that he's desperate. He's desperate because that means that he's behind. He's behind because the actual analytics show he's behind. If you watch Fox News, you will see that they will say that he's leading and he's going to win likely and hopefully by a landslide. It is not true. Remember, he pays Fox News. Everything they say is designed to help him look good at any extent. That is the democracy we're in, is that this man is a single party. He is a single Republican Party. You will never see anyone else campaigning out there for anything that matters. Only people that you will see supporting him are on Fox News that are directly related to him winning, like I said. All right. The actual things, the actual specific content and items about the actual public, foreign and domestic policy, they do not support. They are too egregious. He is crazy. All right. For example, health policy. He has said from day one, 3.5 years ago, that he would abolish Obamacare. He thinks it's wrong, right? Whatever. And he said he have a plan in place. He said that so many times. It's still not in place. He even said yesterday, this is where you get caught in a lie. And Trump does not back down from his lies. He continues to support his own lies. He said on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl, in one sentence, and within 1 minute, within 2 minutes, he said the plan is fully complete. Pull it up. Pull anything up. I say, just look it up for yourself. Pull up the 60-minute interview and hear it for yourself. Right? There's several clips. One from him being recorded from the official camera, and then one from like another camera. Either one, right? I'll look at both if I were you. He said out his mouth that the plan is fully complete. And then 2 seconds later, he says, because Leslie Saul obviously asked, where is it then? He said, well, there's pieces of it out there. Next question in your mind, again, if you have any sense. Well, you just said that it's fully complete. What do you mean pieces of it are out there? Right? That doesn't make sense. Then he said, we'll make sure that there's something in the health policy that covers any pre-existing conditions. Then the obvious question again, if you have any sense, what do you mean will put? I thought you said it was already done. And then he came back and said, is done, will be done. You don't want to have someone lying to that degree about a health policy this close to election. Period. You don't want to have him lying, period. But he's caught in his own lie within a 2-minute span. This is the thing. When you tell one lie, it leads to another. Right? He is a serial liar. The reason I'm taking this time, and I'm gonna do this hopefully every day or so, is to just recap some of this information so you'll have time to go back and research it if you want, or just look at it for what it is. Biden, you will not see this type of egregious information published or out there on his resume to any degree. Biden is not the sharpest guy. He is a little slow, but the things that the negatives that Trump promotes about Biden, either A, cannot be fully verified, okay, and B, do not matter. Like the fact that I can't even say this stuff because it don't even sound right. He was pacing back and forth. Did you see him pacing around? He probably didn't even know where he was. Look, man, you can't make that. Doesn't mean anything, right? And you put it in context. Why was he pacing, right? It doesn't matter. I could tell you, case in point, like some of these things that are they say about Biden about being a snake or corrupt. It's not true because again, you look at the full story. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, they said that Trump and his people, his campaign, he didn't really have a campaign, it's just him. But he said that Biden couldn't remember my name. He called me George. And he's literally saying this at all of his rallies. Look it up if you don't believe me. He called me George, you guys. He doesn't even have the sense to know who he's running against or remember my name. The Fox News went further and said, hey, the guy, Biden, he is so old and inept that he doesn't remember who he's running against. That's further than saying, I forgot his name. Okay. And they show clips of him saying George, right? But if you look at the full clip, what Trump does, because he's so corrupt and underhanded, is that he actually clipped out the video. The reality in the full clip shows that Biden is actually talking to George Lopez. So when he mentioned George's name, he's referring to the man that he's talking to. He did not forget Trump's name. He just was talking to George. So he said George. If you listen only to Trump and Fox News, you would not know that. You would literally think he forgot his name. These people are very good at lying. They have a whole base based on lying. Okay, but if you look at the full stories, that's just one story. I could talk about the story dealing with his son and the Russian collusion. That's also not verified. That information came from a laptop that was owned by Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani is Trump's right-hand man. That was the source of the scandal. I can go into the detail, and I will later, but I have to keep these clips short. But my point is I want to help enlighten people, you and people that you know. If someone's questioning the election, they don't know what's going on, they think both people are bad, please send them this message. Like this video, share the video, post it, because it will give people information that is actually true. You can Google anything that I'm saying, but you could just take it for what it is also. I would do this every day if I can in order to give more of an educated perspective on what the hell is going on in the election between the government and these two candidates. All right. Hope you like the video. Please like it, share it, send it to people that don't know any better or would like to know a little bit more, and we'll take it from there. All right, you guys have a good day. Comment on anything that you want to know below. Thanks.